I'm Amber Uper, and this is I hope a short video about this little amplifier I wanted to show you. This is something I just did a little bit of work on. It wasn't working, and the person that asked me to work on it didn't know what was wrong with it, so I checked it all out. Turned out that what was wrong with it was the rectifier tube was fried. I checked the capacitors and all the circuits, and everything else seemed to be good, so I stuck a new tube in it and fired it up, and the thing sounds really good now. And what this is a 1959 Supro, and Supro was made by Valco, and Valco has been making amplifiers since the late 1940s, and the serial number plate on this one is the serial number is a T prefix 7500 serial number, 4 digits, which puts it in the first part of manufacturing of the year 1959. From what I could find on the internet, the year 1959 serial numbers have the T prefix, and they go from 5,000 to 25,000. So this is this one was made in 1959. So this is the front of it, and I'll show you the back. And I have the back off of this so I could show you the guts. So let me turn this around. So there's the back. That doesn't need to be in there. Let's take that out. So here's the bad tube. I just got it in there for the customer. So as you can see, the inside of this thing, here's your, it's a 5Y3 rectifier. This is your power tubes. This is a, these are a 6973. That's what that tube is. You got a pair of power tubes, and these are both 12AX7s. This is the input tube, and only 1/2 of this tube is being used. It's only got one side hooked up to the circuitry. These 3 pins are bare. Nothing hooked up to them. So basically you've got 2 sections in the preamp, and then the third section is the phase inverter for the power tubes. And as you can see, it's really clean in here. Up in here is your power supply capacitor. That I tested that, and that tested really good. So when I fired it up, I did all the voltage tests, and this thing has almost no hum. At least when I had it hooked up to my isolation transfer, it had very, very little hum. So let me, another thing. This here is not a field coil. This is the output transformer. Instead of it being mounted somewhere on the chassis, it's mounted to the speaker, which is a really interesting thing, but 1959. But they did that all the way from the time they quit using field coil speakers until the early 60s sometime. Now here's the back, and if we put the cord through, that goes on like this, and there's screws that hold it in, and there's 6 there and 1 here, so 7 screws hold it in. Here's your controls. I think you can see that. You have the volume control and your tone control, and then you've got a treble instrument input and 2 bass instrument inputs. Let's see, diffuse, your on-off switch, and your indicator light. That's it. There's no ground switch on this like on a Fender to choose which polarity the ground goes on. So you kind of, back in the old days, these are just 2-wire cords. I'm not going to change it because this thing is in such good shape that I want it, I'm sure the customer wants it as original as possible, which includes the original 2-wire cord. So, but you have to kind of be careful with these when you are gigging with them, because if you got the polarity of the amplifier backwards from the polarity of your PA system, you're going to get a shock from the microphone. I experienced that on many occasions with the old Fender amps before I started using 3-wire cords. Anyway, let me plug this in. Alright. Fire it up, let it warm up a little bit. And Meanwhile, I'll get the cord and a guitar. Now it's getting warmed up. I can hear a little bit of buzz, which is really pretty typical of all tube amps. They have a little bit of buzz just from tube noise, but it's certainly not filter buzz. Just barely there. I'm not even sure this camera microphone's even picking it up. So let me plug this in. Plug it into the treble. And we'll turn it up enough we can do this. Alright, let me put the guitar in. My old Squier Stratocaster, which I've modified the pickups on. It's got two narrow humbuckers, and the center pickup is a single coil. Oh, and you can hear that single coil. There we go. I don't have a strap, so I'm going to have to just sit down here. Alright, so that's what it sounds like. Got the tone controls all the way up on the guitar. Got the volume control all the way up. I think that's the neck pickup. The bridge pickup. Here's the single coil in the middle. You can see how much brighter that one is. Now that's, we're almost all the way, let's see, we're almost all the way to the bass side of the tone control. Might as well say right now I'm not a guitar player. I can play chords, but that doesn't make me a guitar player. Turn it all the way, treble all the way up, or not treble, tone all the way up. That's the single coil. It's bright. That lovely jangly sound. That's it. Yeah. What I would say is like 3.5 on the volume. I believe this thing puts out about 20 watts. It's the high voltage runs at 345 or so volts to the plates of the power tubes. It could be more with these tubes. They'll do about 400 volts, but this amp is not built that way. I believe this is a model 1600. These are basically, these are basically the same circuitry as the 1624, except they don't have reverb and they don't have tremolo. So it's just your basic your volume tone amp. Oh, and you can hear a radio pickup in it. That's that nice two-wire cord pickup. Let's crank it up to half. starting to break up now. Let's crank it up most of the way. Now you can listen to the radio on it. Let's try this right. Grab my pick out of my pocket. I've been just playing with my fingers there. All right. That's the bridge pickup. So you can see it's really got quite the sound. That's one of the center pickup is a single coil. It's a Seymour Duncan, one of their high output pickups, so it really drives that speaker or the whole system at that volume. So let me turn this down, and I'm going to unplug my Strat. Anyway, that is the Supro. I believe it's a model 1600. It's the best thing I can come up with on it. The circuitry is right for that, and I know it was made in 1959. So, there it is. Thanks for watching.